African diaspora raise funds. Join RC today and strengthen your sense of community within the African diaspora. By so doing, it will bring peace of mind to you and many others who are worried about the remains of their loved ones being abandoned in a foreign country. A single hand cannot tie a bundle. Even the strongest and richest needs their community through a rough time. The benefit guarantee per event is $15,000 for US and Canada and $7,500 for Europe. RC is easy to use and loaded with great features. Download the app from Google Play and the App Store. On Google Play, search for RC, and on the App Store, search for RC Donation. RC is available for the African diaspora in the US, Canada, and Europe. To learn more about RC, visit us at www.corporatewfs.com or email us at rcdonation@corporatewfs.com. Sign up today. RC, and a true spirit of African solidarity.
I am Mazi KK Odeluga.
Mazi Ejikeme Obasi.
Na Mazi Oke Okachuku.
This is Straight Talk Radio, the world as we see.
Coming to you from WGHC 98.3 FM. Your voice, your music, your station.
Listen to us this and every Saturday at 4 to 5 p.m. U.S. Central, and this and every Tuesday at 9 to 10 p.m. U.S. Central.
Ndewono.
Igbo kwenu. Hey. Mono. Hey. Sotano. Hey. Matano. Hey. Kwesoni. Hey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk Radio. Tonight, my co-hosts, Mazi Oke Okachuku and Mazi KK Odeluga, are running a little late, and they will be joining us shortly. We have a very special program today. We have a special guest a special guest. His name is Mazi Friday Nwokoma Hezekiah Onwukwe. Mazi Onwukwe is the newly elected president of the Igbo Associations of Chicagoland. What does that organization represent? This is an umbrella that represents the various Igbo associations resident in Chicago. We are very excited to have him here in the studio with us because we would like to have a chat with him to understand where he's coming from and his vision for the association over the next few years. As you all remember, Straight Talk Radio is the world as we see it. It is news and events around the world as seen from the Igbo perspective. So, Mazi Onwukwe Ndewo.
Ndewo,
welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. So, to begin with, I think I would like you to give our listeners a short synopsis of what exactly is the Igbo Association of Chicagoland. What does it represent?
Well, Igbo Associations of Chicagoland is an umbrella organization.
Okay.
It represents about 23 organizations.
Okay.
Igbo organizations
Okay.
resident in Chicago.
Yes.
Or should we say Chicagoland?
Yes.
And what we do is primarily, as of now,
Yes.
organize the Igbo people for our yearly Igbo Fest,
Okay.
Igbo Festival.
We shall talk about that festival down the road. I'm very excited to talk about that, as are many people.
Mm-hmm.
But you said there are about 23 organizations that make up
Igbo
Igbo associations.
Yes.
Okay. what are these organizations? Are they business organizations? Are they family organizations? How are the organizations set up?
Okay, most of our organizations have their roots,
Okay.
in should I say ethnic background. For instance, I use myself as an example.
Yes.
I'm an Ngwa man.
Okay.
So we have Ngwa associations of Illinois,
Yes.
in Chicago.
Yes.
We have Ngwa National Association,
Yes.
another one in Chicago.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have Mbise,
Okay.
Cultural Association. We have Enyimba. We have Ozak, which presents a lot of people.
Yes.
We have Ikuano Moahe,
Okay.
so forth and so on.
Okay, so
So
these are
it's-
parochial organizations that have come together and associated themselves, and now you are the president of the organization that holds them all together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who is on the board of Igbo associations?
Well, the board is comprised of the presidents
The presidents of each of the...
of each of these organizations.
Okay,
And we have the presidents. I think we have 2 other representatives in case the president is not there when we call meetings or anything at all.
Okay.
Then somebody else can step in for him.
okay.
But the board itself is comprised of presidents of
The different organizations.
different organizations.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's very interesting. Who else is on the executive? I'm assuming you didn't elect you're not elected to run the whole thing just by yourself.
No, no. I have other capable people.
Okay,
I have my vice president,
okay,
Mr. Charles Nkuku.
okay,
He's from Ikuano Moahe.
okay.
And he's a very capable hand. He's a very nice young man.
Yes,
And lady,
yes.
I think I don't want to name her place. I mean, her,
For where she comes from in
where
Nigeria,
she comes from,
in Igbo.
Yeah, but I want
Yes,
Igbo.
yes,
And,
yes.
Maybe when it comes to me, I mean, if I remember it, I will let you know.
Sure.
Then we have Mr. Oke Azubike.
Okay,
He was just elected newly. Madam Tamara have served
before.
Tinu Kegwe has served before.
So these were returned based
Returned
on
their
performance.
Performance, yes, right. Very strong women. I love
Yes.
them. Very strong women. And Azubike was just elected this past February when we had our meeting.
Okay,
And he just stepped in as a financial secretary.
okay,
And before that, our vice president now just stepped up from
yes.
financial secretaryship to the vice president.
Okay,
So okay, just took over from him.
okay.
Then we have another young man, Mr. Nabenya Nebogo.
Yes.
About that guy is an example I need to serve. The first day he came in there, the people elected him events coordinator.
Okay.
So he's there now, and he's doing a very good job. Okay, and those are my people.
Very good.
Those are
So
my people.
I can see that in this executive, we already have succession planning. So the the next generation is being pulled into the board, which
Yes.
is very commendable. Which is
Mm-hmm.
very commendable because I think, in my opinion, personally, for a lot of us Ndi Okenye that have lived here, we sometimes forget that our children have grown. And we sometimes forget that we need to groom them to replace us when we fade out. So I'm very happy to hear that there are young men and women that are actually being encouraged to serve in the Igbo associations of Chicagoland. Let me take a pause here to acknowledge the arrival of my co-host, Mazi Okachukwu. Okay?
Dalano.
That one now.
Yes.
Welcome, Mazi Friday.
That one.
So we were just talking about the election and how he won by landslide victory.
Yes.
So, and he's just trying to explain the makeup of Igbo Associations of Chicagoland. And I was going to follow that up. And he had, of course, talked about the fact that the big thing they do there is the Igbo Fest, which, of course, we're going to talk a lot about very soon. Yes. But still around the organization and everything, I would start by saying, by asking, because in my experience, a lot of the immigrant community in America, we come in with very good ideas. We have goals and things we want to achieve. A lot of times we are limited by finances. So, can you tell us first and foremost, how healthy financially is this organization?
Well, financially, as of now,
yes,
we are not healthy.
Okay.
In the sense that we are funded by the people.
Yes.
Individual contributions.
Yes.
We don't have maybe corporate sponsors or
yes,
the like. So every year, I just put out a letter about three or 4 days ago asking for donations.
Yes.
This is the only way, as of now,
Yes.
that we run this Igbo Fest every year.
Yes, but beyond the Igbo Fest, the organizations that Igbo Associations of Chicagoland are the umbrella. Do they not pay a subvention?
Well, they do.
Okay.
What we do
Yes.
is we print tickets.
Okay.
We print tickets. Each organization gets about 600 tickets. They are responsible to give us $500 back. We print tickets and we distribute them to the organizations. We ask them to, go out, friends, relatives, anybody who is interested, buy $1 a piece. And then after that, you sell 600, you put $100 in your own account. That's for your dash, for doing a good job.
Yeah.
And give us $500.
Okay.
That's how
Okay.
we do it from the organization's standpoint.
Yeah. So that funds the Igbo Fest.
Well, it does. When we say funds Igbo Fest, as if that's the only way, but that is part of it.
Part of it.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. That's part of it.
What about the day-to-day running of your association? When you call a meeting, how do we buy stationery to write the minutes on?
Okay. So after the fest, sometimes we have a little money left.
Okay.
Maybe 1,000 there, maybe 3,000 there, maybe, for instance, this year, I don't know how much we have actually left, but we have been able to pay for the location,
For the venues.
The venue,
for the
okay.
venue,
Yes.
pay for insurance,
Okay.
and everything I need to run the Igbo Fest this year
Yes.
financially, in terms of immittance acquired,
Yes.
is paid for.
Very good.
We have paid for the insurance, we have paid for the dumpster, we have paid the city of Chicago their money. All those things are set.
Okay.
So the other small things, that is coming on, that is why we're asking the people, reach inside your pocket and let's go.
So, okay, maybe we should spend some time talking about the Igbo Fest.
Yes, but
Or do you want? Okay, Mazi,
before we
okay.
get
Yes,
on there,
yes,
so
yes.
I heard you talking about this being an umbrella organization and all the other organizations that pay into the organization.
Yes.
How did it come about that you became an umbrella organization?
Or the history.
Not necessarily the history. What makes you the umbrella organization, and why do they think you to be the umbrella organization? What are you doing other than Igbo Fest that makes you the umbrella?
Okay, now that is what we are, like you said here, something about division, is to ask the people if we can recreate this umbrella, quote unquote, umbrella organization. It was set up initially just for the fest, and that is the way it's contained in the
Bylaws.
in the bylaws.
So it's an umbrella organization for the Igbo Festival.
Fest. Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to understand.
Few people were elected, so okay, get together, let's go and do this thing for ourselves. Then as time went on, people begin to see, okay, hi, this thing can take other dimensions in the Igbo community. Then associations started, okay, let's get together, and do this, and it becomes Igbo Associations of Chicago. That's how we're evolving.
So, just so that I restate it right, the Igbo Organization of Chicago, Igbo Organizations of Chicago, is it's an umbrella organization in the sense that it takes care of the Igbo festival for all the other organizations. So they have a common festival that is put together by these organizations, and the powers to do that is vested in the Igbo Association of Chicago.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, I think I have a little problem with that.
Okay.
Yes, I have a problem with that. And I will tell you the problem I have with that is that there's a lot more to Igbo in Chicago than Igbo Fest.
You mean Owambe is not the only thing?
Owambe is not the only thing that... and even Igbo Fest is really not Owambe. Because Igbo Fest is the cultural face of Igbo in Chicago.
Yes.
With each passing year, for some of us that have been here quite a while, we see improvements, we see crowds, and now more and more non-Igbo are beginning to participate. And especially as our children grow up and bring in their friends, you begin to find it is becoming very diverse in terms of the population that actually attends the fest.
So maybe we should dig deeper into the Igbo Fest, and as we discuss, then these other things will line in there.
Okay, yes, maybe, okay, sure, because I am thinking that such an organization will have a much bigger role to play among Igbo in Chicago than purely Igbo Fest.
Than an umbrella, rella. Right.
Rihanna does not live here. Okay. Yes.
Can I come in?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, going back to what you said.
Yes.
That is one of my visions. How are we going to make this organization stronger than what it is now?
Okay.
Because when you look at it, it's organized or it's set up to run Igbo Fest.
Yes.
What do we do after July 29th? Because
To
July
attend
29th of this
Israel.
year, July
Yes.
29th of this year, Saturday, is
It's
Igbo Fest,
Fest.
which is the main fest. Then on the 28th, we have symposium.
Yes.
On the
On the
30th,
30th,
we have a
Sunday.
church service,
church, yes.
to put the whole thing together.
Yes.
Now, after all this weekend, what do we do beyond that?
So on July 31st, Monday,
IAC goes into hibernation.
No, we actually don't go into hibernation.
Okay, because that is the question.
Yeah, then we begin to put, try to put account and how do you spend your money. And
No. That part of it is
administration. It
housekeeping.
has to happen anyway, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
in terms of programs for future activity,
It's like saying
yes.
God created the heaven and earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day,
Nothing.
he didn't do
Everybody-
accounting. He rested.
So coming into that,
Yes.
we are looking at trying to diversify Igbo associations.
Okay.
What I mean by that is look beyond Igbo Fest.
Yes.
But like I said before, we will have to change
The bylaws.
the bylaws.
Yes.
Because the bylaws displace Igbo Fest.
Right. So if your mandate is coming from the organizations that are shadowed, that are part of the
under the
umbrella.
Yes, under the umbrella.
I'm guessing that you can't just make that change unless you have. I mean, do you have any membership under IAC, or are the membership part of the umbrella
The
organization?
parochial organizations.
Yeah, once you are a member of an association, automatically
you're defaulted in.
You are defaulted and you are part of Igbo.
So your mandate comes from the members of organizations that are not direct; they are indirect through the parochial organizations to you.
Yes.
So to make that change, that means that you have to get consensus with the umbrella organization.
Yeah, we have.
Or is it with the board?
Yeah, we have to. That's where I was coming to. That's where I'm coming to.
Yes.
We have a board, and that board is comprised of the presidents of all the associations.
Yes.
And those presidents are the ones who are vested with the power
Yes.
to say, okay, executive this, executive that. They are the ones too that if we have to make this change, that we make this change on behalf of the people.
Yes.
Okay? So once these things are done, then we become what we want to become.
Yeah, okay. So before we go in there, because I think you have a lot of questions.
Well,
I
yeah,
still
well,
want
yes,
our
uh-huh.
listeners to understand what this big festival is first,
Okay.
right? So that we have a context, so that when we start talking about housekeeping and
okay.
administration,
Okay.
then they will know, well, why does it make sense to maybe
Sure.
diversify or not?
Sure.
Okay.
So could you tell us what is Igbo Fest?
Igbo Fest is a cultural fest. We try to showcase that makes us Igbo.
Yes.
Cultural dances. Like say, no line up
Yes.
traditional dances, young women dance, any kind of dance you can think about is that is originated from our homeland in Igbo.
Yes.
If we have the funding or the power, we will get them. Because for instance, last year, the masquerade we had there that last year came from the Ngwa people.
Okay.
The previous year, we had from
Was it
NCF.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
NCF. They
NCF.
brought some. I think we have had some from one or two times from Wawa people.
Yes.
You know, those kind of things. And then young girls that an organization can put together a show and say, okay, we'll bring our young women, we'll bring our young men. You know, the team. What they are coming to do that day, but to showcase Igbo culture
And food.
Igbo culture.
Well,
I'm talking
I
about,
guess
Igbo
Igbo culture includes the food.
Yeah,
But
the food.
So it seems, well, I know you're saying much more than we're saying. So we're saying this is a festival, because the fest is a short,
Yes.
for a festival where we showcase Igbo culture.
Igbo culture,
And
yes, sir.
for those who are new to us and don't understand where Igbo is the east central part of Nigeria. The culture in that area runs from the east central part below the Benue all the way to the Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
So we try to showcase the culture, which include dances, masquerades, and food. And are there other things? I know dances, you can't do dances without music, so
Yes,
music is there with the masquerades. What else do we showcase? Do we showcase any arts or things that the Igbo people do?
Well, in that, primarily right now, that's the only thing we do. But as time goes on, that brings us back to the vision again. The contract we signed with Chicago Park District
Yes.
does not allow us, let's say we have vendors
Yes.
that we can bring in and say, okay, come sell Igbo arts or
Yes.
Igbo clothes or things like that. Okay? We can't do that right now. But in the future, we are
So
heading to
that sells, right? So
Yeah, but,
if somebody
beyond-
is an
yes.
artist and just wants to display their work,
And I have seen that.
Yes.
I have seen people have come in and displayed artistic creations. I know, for example, that at every single Igbo Fest, there is usually an exhibit on Biafra,
okay,
which is an integral part of the
Igbo history.
Igbo experience. Yes. And oftentimes you see different people. At one time, there was a man who was very prominently presented. He was a Mr. David Koren, who was a
who wrote a book.
Yes, he
about
was
his experience.
he was a teacher, one of the Peace Corps teachers in Igbo prior to the war, and at the breakout of the Civil War, he tried to come into Biafra to come and help, but could not. Ended up in Sao Tome and became a very big part of the relief effort to feed dying children in Biafra. He wrote a book, Far Away in the Sky, and he came to Igbo Fest and had an opportunity to interact with a lot of the children that he fed during Biafra. So I think Igbo Fest is beyond just the cultural aspect of it. It is also becoming a melting pot where various things that have happened, that are happening, or even things that will happen. I mean, we even see a lot of the politicians now coming to Igbo Fest
to dance with
show
us,
face.
showcase with us. You know.
Absolutely.
Showcase
So
with
yes, I think it is gradually growing in stature and influence.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. So they so you mentioned Igbo Fest actually starts on the Friday. And
with
then there's
with
a
the
Saturday,
symposium.
and then so what's the symposium?
Well, the symposium actually is organized by Igbo Alliance.
And who are these
And who are these
Alliance?
Igbo Alliance?
These are those people, young people. How do I?
Our children.
Our children, our grown-up children. I don't want to call them young people and make somebody angry or something like that. Because some of them are 25, 23, 20
They're so
something,
young,
18.
yes.
Young adults.
Yes.
Okay, so they get together and do their own advertisement and everything, and they get their own hall, and they just let us know this is what we are doing. They decide the topic, whatever they want to talk about, and they get their own guests, and all would say, okay, fine, because we just want to make sure they are in there. So they do that. As
And
of now, it won't have any.
So it sounds like on Friday there's a discussion because you said something about topic.
Yes.
So and the discussion is picked by the Young Igbo Alliance group.
Yeah, yes.
And is it culturally centered? The topics, do you know, or do they pick? Are they in line with the cultural?
Is it
display
culturally
of Igbo
relevant?
Fest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if who is actually invited to Igbo Fest? Is it just the Igbo people get together and hang around each other, or who can come to Igbo Fest?
Everybody.
On any day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Anybody who wants to come, who has the time, come see what we are doing. It's open.
It's open, so there is no gate. There is no gate fee. You could walk in and enjoy the place.
No, you can just come in. I remember when we were at the Warren Park. You come and see the line for the food.
Yes.
And then you look at it, who are these people? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or even the food is free.
It's free.
So
Once you're able to come into that
let's
place,
advertise this properly.
Chicago, the food is free.
So
food is free.
on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could come to Igbo Fest. No matter who you are, nobody charges you anything. You could enjoy the culture by listening to some culturally relevant topics on Friday. You could come to the park and enjoy all the festival and all the display of culture that you see. You could partake and eat the food, and nobody's going to say, hey, what are you doing? You're going to enjoy, and it's all free.
it's all free.
And on Sunday I could come worship. Is Sunday free too?
Oh, it's not free, but this time you're in the church.
Right. So, well, is it still free?
Oh yeah, it's free. But don't be surprised when we ask you for donation. Because you don't go to church without
But
donating.
it's a donation.
Well,
so
no, after you render unto Caesar that which is Caesar,
then you could
then
give
we
God
shall.
what is God.
There you go. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
That's so. This Sunday service, it's interdenominational,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, so people of all faiths. There's no. You come in and you worship.
You worship.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we just
So-
gather. I know
okay.
we gather at 26th and Michigan. I've forgotten the name of that church.
Okay.
That's where we gather, because that's the only place they give us a place to get together.
Yes, and
our
worship,
our pastors and reverends and all those people come in there and then conduct the services.
Okay.
And whatever contribution or whatever donation we get, they normally give that donation back to us, the IAC.
To IAC to help.
So,
Okay. Different costs. Very good. Very good. You are listening to WGHC 98.3 FM, your voice, your music, your station. And with us, again, is the president of Igbo Associations of Chicago. And we are discussing this organization and what it represents. So far we have talked about the fact that this was primarily actually set up to effectively manage and run the
cultural festival,
the cultural festival known as Igbo Fest, in short. And so I would like to go back to where I was before Mazi derailed.
So wait. So if you're listening to us and you want to be part of the conversation, give us about a minute or two, but you could call 773-942-7167 to be part of the conversation. Also, you gave the date when I was walking in, so I want to make sure that those who are listening and thinking all these free things I'm going to get, that they know what dates to mark on their calendar for the free festival, for the free symposium, for the free church service is the Friday, July 28th, Saturday, July 29th.
At Dominican University, usually.
No, last year it was held at 43rd and Carthage Grove.
Okay.
So it may change.
They move it around.
Okay, so it may change.
So when we do we know the venue now?
No, we don't have.
So when we have the venue, you have to let us know so that we could update our listeners who are marking
online,
so that they could know where to go on July 28th, Friday for the symposium.
Yes.
Okay.
But July 29th, Saturday is at what park?
63rd and Cornell by Hayes.
Jefferson Park?
No, that's Jackson Park.
Jackson Park.
Yeah, Jackson Park by the golf course.
Yes.
By the golf course at Jackson Park.
Yeah, 63rd and Cornell.
63rd and Cornell. And then on the 30th, you said 28th at Michigan, which will be Trinity Episcopal Church.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to enjoy all this free festival by Igbo people, 28th, 29th, and 30th of July, and at the park on the Saturday at 63rd and Cornell is the park festival. All right. Jackson Park.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, yes, I was going to say that there is I know that the Igbo population in the Chicagoland area is quite large. And I know that we engage in a lot of activities, some by the parochial organization, some by individuals, some by other non-parochial based organizations. And it would seem to me, especially given the fact that there are times when things happen in this Chicagoland area, that you need coordination of the Igbo society as a whole, that this organization would actually be the perfect place to be able to rally Ndi Igbo under a common umbrella for other things that are beyond just the Igbo festival or Igbo Fest. And so I hear you say the bylaws specifically limited to the Igbo festival. So I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, do you think that Ndi Igbo in the Chicagoland area would be averse to the idea of expanding the role of IAC?
Yes, we will, because when you talk to people unofficially,
yes,
that is that is what they express. That's what they want.
Okay.
That's what they want. I'm going to use Dr. KK as an example.
Okay, yes, Dr. Mazi KK Odeluga has joined us. Mazi Odeluga Kelendi Madu.
They will know.
Okay. Up from KK. Why did I mention his name?
Yes.
We have worked. He came and invited us for World Igbo Studies, right, sir?
Igbo Studies.
The Igbo Studies Association.
Igbo Studies
IAC,
Association.
yes.
Okay. We have worked with you 2 times. What do? We just go there, buy, buy communal, get some drink, buy cola nut, and welcome our people. They come from different, various aspects of, part of the world.
Yes.
Ndị Igbo nọ na Chicago, si unu ndewo na abịala. Ihe unu bịara ime dị anyị mma. I said, when Nyawodo came here,
Yes.
you were there yourself.
Yeah.
We came in there.
Ohaneze president.
Ohaneze there, we were there. We did the same thing. Okay? So, and when you listen to the people on the side, people want to go beyond this. But how do we do it? How do we go beyond this? How do we make ourselves more viable to the people?
I think this conversation is important, and because Chicago has become our adopted city, and Chicago is actually, historically, the Igbo has a lot of connection to Chicago. So many Igbo sons have come through Chicago who are of great importance in the Igbo history. Mbono Jike, for example, was here in the 40s and grew up in this community before he went back to Nigeria, and so many other people who have come and gone. And interestingly, we have the pioneers of the Igbo community in Chicago, people like Fidelis Ume, Mazi Mbano, Mazi Nadi, and Iglige, Achusim. These were some of the people who were here during the Nigerian Biafran War.
And we have one guy from Ngwa called Chief Josiah Nwogugu.
Nwogugu, yes.
He was one of them.
Yes, and the Ihejrikas,
Okay, good.
Madam Ihejrika. So they were here, and they really mobilized the city on behalf of the relief effort for Biafra. So Chicago is a great city that have continued to welcome Igbo. And so it's important that the Igbo community continues to organize and to grow and to consolidate, create institutions that will guarantee the flourishing of emerging new generation of Umu Igbo Amo in America.
Okay. And
how is your organization preparing for the next generation?
well, the preparation lies with the people. The preparation lies with the people. For instance, when we call meetings, of which KK, you can attest to that, my people don't show up. You have a meeting where you have 23 organizations, and then they call a meeting, you don't have 10 present. We are talking about, we said something about Umuigbo Alliance now. When you come to that ground on that 29th, you see our children in various ages.
Yes.
People in strollers. People, their mother is dragging over here, dragging over those people you don't want to put in the stroller.
Yes.
The younger ones that are, let's say, in primary school. You see university graduates. We have lawyers, doctors, engineers. And then you say, so where are you people? And then you see the older ones. Last year I saw about 5 or 6 people coming in wheelchairs. Okay? A family drove all the way from Ohio, Minnesota. They came directly to me and said, okay, I hear you are the vice president. I said, yes. Where do you come from? Oh, we heard about this thing. I came from St. Louis, Minnesota, Ohio. Families. We told Mazi, old people and everything. I said, okay, the only thing you have to do is go to each of these booths or canopies or whatever. Look for the names. If you see your village or your community or anybody that go in there, your people are in there. So, how do we do this? There's no other way but the people knowing the importance of what we are trying to do and then come out and say, I'm only at 37 years. Okay? I have a son, he's just 26. My daughter is going to be 27. Then when I'm a grandson. So what am I going to?
Yes.
So it's time, like
Yes.
okay? Okay, no, here is laughing.
Mazi,
okay, remember, Mazi, okay, remembers what I'm talking about. That's where I met him the first time. It's in Igbo Alliance.
Yes.
You got it? Now look at what he's doing. We are getting old. I can't be running around like this anymore. Let them come so we can build for us. But the most important thing that we Igbo people have to do in Chicago, okay, we have, I don't even, should I say that it's past us or it's going to pass us? And a cultural center, and we have to have our own place. Okay? Look at how much money we spend at 26 and Michigan every weekend. Every weekend we go there and pour money. Every day we go there and pour money. If every family in Chicago land, Igbo family, $100, we can be able to raise enough money, put it together, and say, okay, this is our deposits, this is our down payment, this is our this, and this is our that, and then we can go from there.
Yes, I hear you. And I think this might be a good opportunity for you to speak directly to a lot of the people who are listeners and who follow the work of your organization, Igbo Associations of Chicago, who may not be part of the umbrella organizations but are asking the question, how can they help? Maybe this is an opportunity, if you can speak directly to them, how they could participate. Because I agree with you. In fact, one of my friends, Dr. Okibo, actually did a paper and published a research paper on what is going on in Chicago, how diaspora people have begun to organize to bring their culture to the diaspora and establish some of the values and the customs among the newer generation of immigrants. So it's a commendable thing. What Chicago Igbo community have set out to do is commendable, and there are very few places in the U.S. this is going on. So I would like you to speak to those who may come or they like what is going on. They're in the Midwest. How can they participate? Either contributing or whatever. This is your time. This is your moment.
Thank you very much. The way they can participate, two ways. First of all, in Igbo land, we say if the soup is sweet, it's money. And there's nothing we can do in Chicago without that.
Yeah,
it's
we
money.
talked about that, yes.
So if you're out there, you want to help, you want to participate, it's Igbo. I bet you, any of you out there knows one person or the other in Chicago.
Yes.
Any person. Contact that person and say, okay, I want to help in this aspect, in that aspect, to help, bring up Igbo Associations of Chicago, or help bring up whatever we want to do. It will get to us. Secondly, physical help. What I mean by physical help, let's go back to the Igbo first. If you come back that day, you see people putting pegs. You see people trying to help with the canopy. You see people, some ladies from the organizations, they come out and they help cook. They help serve.
So volunteers.
Volunteers.
Okay.
Things like that. But primarily, where the whole thing lies down is money.
Is there a website or is there an address where people, if they want to send checks, that they could send money?
Yes, let me look at this place. Our financial secretary, my vice president right now, Mr. Charles Nkuku, I just came up from his office. He's right here at, okay, his address is not here, but I will find it.
So while you're looking for the address, I just noticed.
Okay, it's 3473 North Broadway.
That is
3473 North Broadway,
Chicago, Illinois, 60657.
Okay. So
Address to Charles, Mr. Charles Nkuku.
And the checks should be made out to
IAC, Igbo Associations of
Chicago.
Chicago.
So now we are putting out an appeal
Yes, sir.
on behalf of the Igbo Associations of Chicago for everyone who loves what they do, especially in the summer. My children look forward to it.
So do mine.
That they please send a check, be it $5, $10, $20, to IAC Care Charles Nkuku. Again, the address is 3473
North
Broadway,
Chicago,
here
Illinois.
in Chicago, Illinois. The zip code is 60657.
657.
So take note of it. This will be also on our Facebook page for the Straight Talk Radio, so that you'll be able to contact IAC, and then you can give your widow's mite. Now, Mazi Obasi.
Yes, because as most of our listeners know, we have often, over the months, talked about a lot of problems we have both here and in Igbo. And one of the things that comes up a lot is that we, especially we as Igbo, we do not have a common front. And we talk
Yeah,
about
but the concept of Nwokoma million.
Yabo Fofo. Yabo Fofo. If you look at, I'm actually making a case, mea culpa. I am making a case as to why I don't want to have Igbo Associations of Chicagoland be an organization that just does Igbo Fest. I think it needs to be expanded to do more things for Igbo. Primarily because there is a lot of need that we have a common face. And such an organization as this that ends up being an umbrella for Igbo Niile, I think it behooves all of us to support it aggressively, but also help it expand its role and more effectively represent the interests of Igbo, not just in Chicagoland area, but by their size and commitment beyond that.
So if anyone is listening,
You could join us with the conversation by calling 773-942-7167. 773-942-7167. So, and also you could actually, if you're watching on Facebook,
yes,
you could leave a comment on the WGHC 98.3 FM Facebook page on the video, on the live video that is streaming, and we will have a conversation with you that way. We are talking to Mazi Friday
Nwokoma.
Hezekiah Onwukwe, who is the current president of the Igbo Associations of Chicago. And I'll take this opportunity to apologize all those people that read something I posted where I had a terrible typo. It is only a typo. It's an autocorrect from my phone.
Blame it on Siri.
Yes, I am really, really sorry. Of all the words he could use, he used the wrong one. So sorry about that, but it was a typo.
Yeah, we'll beat up.
And thanks for understanding.
We'll beat up some songs when we see it.
So,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, so I take as an example when the President General of Ohaneze came to the Chicagoland area, it would have been nice if all the Igbo organizations within Chicagoland had come in under the umbrella of IAC. It would have been nice if things had been discussed at that era and put forward, but even more prescient. Today, we have a country that is in doldrums, trouble everywhere.
Which country?
Nigeria.
Okay, just checking because
And we have been calling of men of goodwill to reach across ethnic boundaries to begin to form a common front against impunity, against injustice, against terrorism. As Mazi Okachukwu said, war against terrorism in Nigeria.
Yes.
How do you as Ndi Igbo begin to reach across ethnic boundaries when you do not have a common representation? So these are areas where I look at to say IAC does, in my opinion, have a bigger role to play than what it's limited to currently. And I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Even before, I totally agree with what you're saying. I just don't have any arguments to make because I think we're probably preaching to the choir. I know some people are listening to us, but since it is an umbrella organization, it's so my understanding is unless the people underneath the umbrella
step up,
yeah. and say and agree with what we are saying,
yes,
then there is nothing you could affect, because even changing the bylaw, as he said, is going to go to the president of the parochial organizations, who will eventually take it to the people, and the people will have to move all the way back. To me, it sounds like we have a lot of logistics, if you will, for lack of a better words, that has to be worked out for it to get to that level. I think we need a organization, and I know I'm using a when I should be using and, but I'm trying to point out the singular. We need a organization in Chicago that speaks with one voice for Ndi Igbo.
yes,
Whether it's on the cultural display side, or in the advocacy side, or in the reaching out and making sure that we could liaise properly with our brothers that made it here way before us, or even in expressing who we are to the rest of the community. Or we need a community, and we need a representation
from
of
the community.
right?
Yes,
And having multiples representing one community is sometimes gives a lot of shades, but if you have one umbrella, then it's the same shade.
Again, you're listening to Straight Talk Radio, coming to you from WGHC 98.3 FM radio station. Your voice, your music, your station. We're going to go into a second segment, and Mazi Friday Nwokoma. We would love to address three things, which is part of what we talk about in Straight Talk.
Yes.
One is, kedu ife ndị Igbo na-eme a ga-asịfa jidenu ka unu ji?
what do we do well
That we should continue.
that we
to
should
do.
continue?
In your view, within the community here in Chicago, and then we'll go on to talk about some of the things that we do that we need to leave. Yeah, but kedu nke anyị ga-ahapụ? And then the third segment, we will look at kedu ife ndị Igbo
Kwesịrị ị na-eme,
kwesịrị ịdị
anyị
na-eme?
na-anaghị eme.
Kedu nke anyị
What
ga-achụba?
gave I ngomi from Ndiana or from?
So I want us to have this conversation in those three broad umbrellas. I mean, to me, it's a conversation. That's what Straight Talk is all about. So again, those who are listening to us, we will encourage you to download the app if you don't have the app.
It's
on
Intune app for Android, and WGHC 98.3 FM app for Apple.
or you can easily go to the WGHC 98.3 FM Facebook page, and you can see us on Facebook
And listen
Live.
there live.
Listen
Yes.
and then send your comments as we continue in this conversation. So, in your view, what is it that Ndi Igbo
Do very well.
do very well?
In Chicago.
Okay.
Yes.
In my view, I think they support each other. Support. Ileanya, unfortunately, this support them they go here right now. A lot of the time when they could change it here, yeah, I got this way and the other way. That support I'm saying is, for instance, we the Igbos, we don't believe in burying our people here. You got that? So when unfortunately we have a death in the Igbo community, you see Igbos come out and they make sure that the dead gets home.
Okay.
And we do that very well. But I would also like us to move beyond that and then get into businesses. What I mean get into businesses is, let me name names. For instance, if you look around now, if you read around, you can see that one of our brothers has opened a grocery store right here in Chicago. I mean, right here on the north side. Okay, I've never been there. If our people will go there, take 50% of the business that goes to Old World Market and then take it over there. How you imagine how far we would come? Because one time I went to Old World Market to buy something, but somebody called me on the phone. So I was already sitting in the lot. And I see our people trooping in. For 30 minutes I was speaking, I never saw anybody in the white. Even from Mexico or wherever, none. It's Nigerian, Ghanaians, and black people. And I'm not said hello to more than 10 people. Igbo. So we go beyond that. Another thing, where we need to come out again in the same support. Right now, as I was coming, somebody called me and told me, do you know that, Lord, a Nigerian girl, an Igbo woman from Bise, right now, that got caught up in the immigration web. She's now in a jail in Minnesota. Nobody's asking about her. This kind of thing, I give me, let's say, fundraising, I give me, when you want to, and then we raise 20, 25,000, 15,000. If we can do something like that, maybe put that money up somewhere. And you want lawyers, and you want people who can say, okay, this money not here. Nobody touches. This is how much we have in the bank. When something like this happens, somebody will at least guide you. What happened? How did it happen? What can we do?
Yeah, but mother, US 1 year.
US 1 year. We're not going to say that we are going to carry the whole thing in our head or something like that. But at least go find out what happened.
So you're saying that now, if Ndi Bonem off, ma, Bona, Onyenkai,
and you break all over.
we'll make sure that just like Israel Arab or Joseph in Egypt, that we take that, but we repatriate the body of the remains of the person back to, or at least make sure we have enough funds. We tax ourselves
help, yes,
to make sure that we have enough funds to get that person home.
Yeah.
Man, ihe na asizi ka emewo. Kama anyị ga-echebe ka mmadụ nwụọ before we could help. Ka anyị nyebe aka mgbe mmadụ dị ndụ. So that when we need advocacy, that we should be able to do similar to advocate for ndị anyị need here. And also when we have businesses, that we should make sure that our money is in our community.
Go to our business.
So whether we are supporting black-owned business or supporting Nigerian-owned business or supporting Igbo-owned business, but now, yes, right. We should start at home.
But going with for that, soon, Igbo.
If you are quite in you get Leanya Igbo, I know that Chicago, I'm a son of you be like a raping like him. Okay? Now, what I can want you to equal queer now. Age there. Over line you want a place. And you wear a small office like this. Where somebody not there. Wouldn't hear me. You got that? Even before they hear him, go right here. Gala this office, this bank not here, this uptown bridge, is that Bridgeview or something bank just down the street there by Lawrence. Yes. You get Hyundai Korea. You got about 3 or 4 offices there, where their people come to get information, the proper information, not the information from the street. This city I know here in both Sanctuary City. People are saying, I was listening to the radio. If you get caught up in the Atlanta for traffic offense, and they find out you don't have any papers, right?
Yeah.
Kaput, you are going from there. Your car will be on the street. You are done. But they cannot do that here in Chicago. So where do our people? I don't know here. I don't know the number. But I'm lying with people in similar situations and not here. Where do they go to get that information?
Yes.
So how about we may establish a place? My vision, if we can have a place of our own, where where the children, you have always advocated that ekusimu takure okuibo, right? Keke. Eleba school. Can we have a place where you can say, okay, Gano here, somebody's there? Hold on.
Yeah. So let me ask this question. I quite understand the idea of people wanting to go home. I believe that happened in an era where many were students and have not really kind of like settled. Now, should we still be funding repatriation when the person now have ample time to make adequate arrangements according to the American custom? I can understand a parent visiting a visitor. Shouldn't that be part of what Igbo Association should be advocating?
You mean advocated?
But if I may comment, you cannot advocate currently when Igbo Associations of Chicago is specifically to organize Igbo Fest.
If you do,
for you to play an expanded role, things have to change.
Yes.
Things have to change. And okay, in response to what you said, because I do agree, but I know that among our listeners, there are some that will agree and some that will disagree. But that's okay, yes, because that's also part of living in a pluralistic society.
And that's why your dialogue is trying to convince
Excellent. Yes. So the issue is, if all of this starts within the organizations of which IAC is their umbrella, then I would expect that people who see this vision should begin to bring this up within the organization to try to change, because at the end of the day, it is your elected president that will, or his representative that sits on the IAC board. So I think as things are now, with the way the bylaws are written, it will be unfair to expect Mr. Nwokoma to perform miracles. So something needs to give. But let me take a different tack.
Okay. So
IAC is an organization. IAC is an organization that, to tell you the truth, quite a few people in the Chicagoland area don't know about it. There are many in Igbo that come to Igbo Fest that don't know how it's organized. They come, they have a picnic, they have a great time, they go to the symposium. How do you expect to sell IAC? How do you hope to bring it out so that only Igbo Obula be eba will know IAC, and if nothing else, the role they are currently playing? We have just asked people to come and donate money.
Right.
Many people will not hear this radio program. Do you have a vision of how to bring out what you want to do so that all Igbo will get to know your organization and at least begin to get a feel for what you're trying to do?
Yes. Right now, I'm in the process of establishing a website.
Okay, good.
When you go there, there's no any other information they want about IAC.
Okay.
As of now, Iga and WhatsApp, anyway, IAC.
WhatsApp. There you go.
Okay. As IAC forum or whatever.
Yes.
But right now, information I'm really adding too much. You see people posting, funny, normal videos and political things and all kinds of everything. But I didn't want things like that.
Yeah.
But I actually take here beyond that. Even though you are this program now, which I'm very, very happy to come here, I will come here. There are ways of getting this information out. But the most important, in the area, on your plan, not there. My board come to meetings. Presidents of these our associations, piano meeting, because it's from you. Do you believe that the financial statement account I made last year, about 5 organizations that pick up their own? So how are you going to tell the people?
They trust you.
I know they trust me, but at the same time,
that's a good sign that nobody.
Maybe I'm in the wrong profession. Can I run for financial secretary?
Oh yeah, you can. But the thing was, trust me. But why don't you take the paper and verify?
Trust and verify.
Trust and verify.
Yes.
Because translate our people go there. If they take this thing we had as IAC, they go say what are here. Because he won't be able. We cannot run away from that.
Yes.
We cannot run away from that. So, about any time, him and him or actually bad day party, got one day. Got got him a wedding one, got one day. Why they go off Sunday? And I'm before. You got that? So, it take here, and our men, what do you want them to notice in our people? It got a meeting. Your own village meeting, your own community, one of these associations, take one of your children. But I will the guys here sit here and I want to go hand him in. Because right now I remember my own children with this WhatsApp and what they call social media, Snapchat and all kinds of everything. My son, I don't know here where I talk to people in Nigeria that plan how to go to Victoria Land and those areas. 10 years ago there was nothing like that. So they know more about African, Nigerian, Igbo culture than we do. Now I got to any party now. Okay, that's a reggae or any of those. Should I say any kind of music? No. Young artists now won't do no law. That if you play one of their music, these kids won't sit down. So you got like change you wanna. So all we need to do, is to find a way to establish something for them where they can go and then get more. And although I told them associations, we have already formed this thing. But why can't we put more energy, more effort in building it? In growing it. It's already in there. So all you have to do is come to meeting at one meeting. So and then take information to your people. Yeah. Those people you represent. So and then from there they will get the information in the massa.
Yeah. So if you know kunu bona farmer gunye oku na farmer dunye nu rapo mmiri. Yes. Na onye si nwata jidenka ku eku ya mmiri ejikwa aka.
That's why.
So na ebe ezili ozi na ga agbanyere ukwu. And I think that is an important thing because sometimes people assume that a few group of people can really have all it takes to be able to execute on behalf of the community. But really, the community should come out in order to participate in shaping the direction of their community. I'm one of those people that believe that anybody who wants to survive in America as an immigrant group must have a community. And you can have organizations as many as you want. But if you've not been able to grow a community, then you keep losing your children and your children's children and your children's children's children.
And what you said now, brought something into my head, which I have preached to my children. I use my own children as an example. I've always taught them about base. Base. What? How much for me? Base gimbo, alego. Okay. Even if an American, African American, born and raised in America, okay, fine, that's good. More number African American, born and raised in Aba, and made in Chicago, right? Everyone base. That's why I'm saying volunteer as myself on Igbo because of my base. And I that's one more tackle. And it's like, look, this is your base. Don't go. Whatever you do, Don't go past that base. I wish you were denying all well about. One of his stepchildren, daughter, married on last Saturday. You come to see these young people. It's crazy. We have doctors, lawyers, engineers. Do I not know pharmacists? 99.9% of the people in Brady and Bundibo. Even though like the people in the Brady from River State or some like that area, what are they mean? Why? Why did you come there? Of your base. Why do you have to run away from it? Do anyone you want to catch me? That's why these younger ones in better because under level 20 and 25, I don't know how much we can do. But we can still talk. You see Nikebi one. You see them in their traditional attires. You see them dancing this their sekulu. I don't know how to put those kind of music. Obiato, just look at you don't know. You forgot how old you are until you see those people. You see what I'm saying? Until you see those people. So what are we doing? What are we going to live for them? My own important thing, member, stay with your base. The name relate with the president. Please. I need good information. I do Anya agafe Chicago every weekend and Agawa Mbodo. Gawi me party. Gawi me anything at all. Okay, rule about the body. I the they are placed in daughter. You never asked us to leave because it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Right? Okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Even though I'm sitting when you can say mature 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock I can say Kwebu. Ndagadi work I will not know. Nobody's going to come and run you out. So I don't know how much come to them on the kitchen. Anyadla overdue for a cultural center, a cultural place. Any address.
Thank you, Mazi Friday for that. And it's a nice conversation that we would like to continue because there's a whole lot that we could talk about. But knowing that our time is short, we're going to break. And we'll continue the conversation. Maybe in another program, we'll invite you back and talk about the progress of the...
And see how far you have come.
Yes, see how far you come with the vision and the program, especially with Igbo Fest coming on. So there are a few things I would like to let our listeners know. One is if you have your checkbook out and we were rushing when you were trying to write down the information, it's a check you should make out to IAC, or if you want to write it all out, is Igbo Associations of Chicago, and it's care of Charles Nkuku at 3473 North Broadway, Chicago 60657. Once again, it's 3473 North Broadway, Chicago 60657. IAC.
Okay, okay. And your phone number.
Also, if you want, you could call him at 773-988-6202. That way you get more information. So for Igbo Fest, you heard the president ask if you are part of the board, if you are part of the organizing members, please show up to meetings. Very important, because if you're not there, we're missing some of the intelligence that's required to make this run smoothly. So make sure you mark down the next date for your meeting is May 19th. So where are they going? Where is the meeting?
Okay. I can use this opportunity to thank one of our organizations, Ozak people.
Okay.
Ozak people they are on York Street 127
in Blue Island.
In Blue Island. If whom the address actually missing. KK, they took over from you. They give us free location place every time I permit it. So I'd met to Mama. If anybody from Ozak is listening, they will.
So Dallin and the Ozak for making it available. So if you're going to the May 19th meeting, it's at Ozak Hall in Blue Island. And we want to sincerely thank Mazi Friday Nwokoma for helping us and showing up here and talking about Igbo Fest, talking about IAC and the work that they're doing with the festival and the vision to expand the festival and the invitation to all and sundry to show up for free food and free cultural display and free discussions and conversations.
And free discussion with God.
Yes, and free
Everything.
celebration at Trinity Episcopal Church.
Trinity Episcopal, yes.
So thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for helping us talk to our people, and thank you for the work you and your executives are doing to organize.
Thank you, my brothers, for having me. Like you said, I'm open. If you do find the time to talk with me again, please let me know. I will honor your invitation.
We will have harder questions then.
Thank you very much.
All right, Divine again to you. We are done for this segment, and don't go too far because we'll start a shorter segment in a few seconds. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Alan.
That one.
You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM.
Spoil you, but we are nothing's friend. From the see the first time, want to trust since then. Come on, me spoil you, get anything you like. Long as you are right, then me alright.